We're gonna try filling up our kayak while we're stranded here on this beach in the middle of nowhere. I think we're just gonna try to paddle as fast as we can back to the car because I definitely do not feel like drowning in the Arctic Ocean. After 8 months of driving, we are just 577 miles away from our final destination, the Arctic Ocean.
But first, we have to beat our final boss, the Dempster Highway.
This iconic road, which takes you to the Arctic Circle of Canada, is infamous for being the most remote and dangerous road in North America.
Between its gnarly potholes and the fact that it's paved with shale, it's notorious for shredding countless tires, leaving RVers like us stranded and requiring tows that can cost up to $4,000. We are about to hit the Dempster, but first we have to go off-road.
Really off-road.
Because of the harsh winters here in the Yukon, it isn't feasible to build a bridge over the Yukon River, so the only way we can access the Dempster Highway is on this ferry. The ferry is free, even for RVers, and runs basically 24/7 in the summertime. Better yet, it drops you off in one of our favorite cities we've ever visited.
Good day, Twin Hozo. I'm Freddie. Welcome to Klondike National Historic Sites in beautiful Dawson City, Yukon.
Dawson City was the capital of the Klondike Gold Rush and has retained its 1890s charm, from historical buildings and wooden boardwalks to even its can-can shows at Diamond Tooth Gertie's. We spent a couple of days exploring this quirky little town, including taking a historical tour with Parks Canada and joining the infamous Sourdough Cocktail Club by drinking one of the town's famed whiskey shots with a mummified toe in it. Yes, it's as gross as it sounds. Whether or not you want to join the Sourdough Cocktail Club, Dawson City is absolutely worth a spot on your itinerary if you ever decide to drive the Dempster. We've got about 70 miles to go today. We've driven on a lot of notoriously bad roads in Alaska over the course of the last 10 weeks. I don't know if it's because we've gotten incredibly lucky, but a lot of them were kind of blown out of proportion, so we really don't know what to expect with the Dempster Highway. We've been planning this for years, and we've talked to countless RVers who are going to tell you this is pretty much going to explode your car.
That being said, we'd much rather be over-prepared than under-prepared, so we're getting a few things to have with us on the road. We got a windshield repair kit, a tire repair kit, and a few days ago, we even picked up a brand new tire.
So everyone that we talked to recommended that we have a full-size spare for driving up the Dempster Highway. Unfortunately, literally every place that we called across Alaska does not have a rim that would fit our car. This might be a very unwise idea, but my plan is, if we get a flat, to reseat the tire on the rim myself. We do have a spare, but it's a donut, and you shouldn't tow on a donut. I've never done it before, but I've watched a few YouTube videos, so that practically makes me an expert. Just spent $270 on this. Hopefully we don't need it.
Our strategy is to just get gas as much as we can. We've heard that some of the more remote gas stations can sometimes run out and people literally just have to camp outside of the gas stations until another truck comes. So we're topping off here. Also, Jess is filling up our propane tanks. So God forbid, if we're stranded in a breakdown, we will be toasty warm and have enough energy to cook. I'm also going to fill up our spare gas can, holds about 2 gallons. We normally use this to fill up our generator if we need some spare power on the road. There's a good chance that we might actually be using this to fill up our car. Honestly, I'm wondering if we should buy a second gas can, but hopefully we'll get by with this.
At the Dawson City Visitor Center, we got this handy-dandy printout that basically lists all of the various stops with the mileage. The big problem that we just identified is that there's a gas station at mile 0 and a gas station at mile 229. Between our gas tank and the extra gas can that we have with us, our range is about 225 miles, so obviously that's cutting it a little bit close. We're really keeping our fingers crossed that the gas station at the start of the Dempster Highway magically has a gas can that we can buy, because otherwise I don't think we're going to have enough fuel.
Yeah, we're probably going to be driving back to Dawson City to buy a gas can. Oh, look, Dempster Highway. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going very far. I don't see a store. So I think we're going to have to drive back to Dawson City and get another can. Well, this is not a good start. I feel like we were very prepared in a lot of ways, but I'm feeling very foolish right now. Oops. Okay, so found another 2.5 gallon can and these bungee straps. I can maybe bungee them both together? All right, we've got our second 3-gallon gas can, and more importantly,
We are at mile 0 of the Dempster Highway. I can't believe it. We're actually going to get started, but
this has been years in the planning, and frankly, it's kind of insane that we're here right now. It's a surreal moment. After a pretty bumpy but relatively uneventful first 44 miles, we stopped at our very first destination along the Dempster Highway, Tombstone Territorial Park. The mud is absolutely... Look, you can't even see my lights. Oh my God. We were worried about getting a site here, and it is absolutely full. So right when we pulled in, though, there was this guy on a bike, and he noticed we had an RV, asked if we had a site. We told him no. He's biking all the way up to Tuktoyaktuk, which is crazy. But he's tent camping, and he had an RV site. That was the only thing he could reserve, but now there's first come, first served tent sites. So long story short, we swapped. I feel super lucky that we were able to get this site. I told Noah I would owe him a beer. He was like, no, don't worry about it. But I'm definitely giving him a beer.
we have a beer delivery,
Yes.
so we'll see you tomorrow.
It is 8:30 a.m. and Jessica is cooking teriyaki tofu for breakfast on day 3 on the Dempster Highway.
No, I'm cooking it for our backpacking trip. There's currently mountains that are just dusted with snow last night, so I'm very curious to see whether the mountains that we're climbing up are going to be snowy.
Tombstone Territorial Park, known as the Patagonia of the North, was one of the stops along the Dempster Highway that we were most excited about, largely because of the Grizzly Lake Trail. We originally planned to do its full 28-mile trail as a 3-night backpacking trip, but because of some gnarly weather, we wound up deciding to shorten our trip to just 1 night and 14 miles.
Y'all, look at this.
This looks fake. It looks like we're in some kind of like Microsoft screensaver.
This has been on Jessica's bucket list for a while to go backcountry camping here, so we're finally going to be able to do that. But first, we need to get some permits from the ranger station.
You need to prove that you have a beer canister with you. The place that we're backpacking at is called Grizzly Lake, presumably because there's a bunch of grizzly bears, so we need to keep our food and ourselves very safe from bears. We officially have our permit. I'm so excited. I can't believe we're here. I really have just been dreaming of coming here, and it's just in the middle of nowhere, and we're actually here.
Jessica started crying twice on the way to the ranger station to get our permit this morning. We found out when we were doing our ranger orientation this morning that it takes anywhere from 8 to 12 hours, and it's gonna get dark in about 10 hours after we start, and we've got 30 pounds on our back. So anyway, it's gonna be kind of a stressful one. This one gains over 4,000 feet, and hopefully we get up there before dark. We're pretty glad that we brought our waterproof boots for this one because the first mile was pure mud. Fortunately, once we started climbing some elevation, the views became extraordinary. So we just started gaining some elevation. Wow, it's cold up here.
Very windy, very cold.
But it's very beautiful.
I think that's Grizzly Lake over there.
That is so pretty.
This may be one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. I've never seen fall colors like this before.
Oh, it is truly stunning out here. We're almost to the top of the first peak. Oh, Jess, you can see some of the mountains. Yes, Jess.
It looks like something out of Game of Thrones. Like it looks like something that would be CGI.
So we just made it to our tent site for the night. Jess is helping me set up, and look at this view behind me. Oh my God, that's incredible. This is actually our very first time setting up a tent on one of these pads.
We don't actually know how to do it.
Yeah, we don't have any, like, they have like little hooks here, but we don't have any cordage, so I'm cutting the guy lines. I'm just sacrificing one of them and tying it off like that, but I don't know. We'll make it work. Jess and I finished setting up our tent, made dinner for the evening, and enjoyed one of the most beautiful sunsets we've ever seen in our entire lives.
It is day 4 on the Dempster Highway, and that's a very pretty view.
I think the weather here in Tombstone is very unpredictable. It rains, it sleets, it snows, it's all over the place, but we've been really lucky to have beautiful, beautiful, beautiful skies.
We had like a pretty lovely evening, and then from like midnight to 3 a.m. it was probably the hardest rain we've ever experienced in a tent. And I was wondering if we were going to be like, if the forecast changed and we were going to be hiking in that today, but nope. Blue skies, and there's even a little bit. Oh, Jess, look at the top of the mountain. Oh. Yeah, there's a little bit of snow up there. Can I have you?
While the weather was perfect when we woke up, we'd heard it was supposed to get much grosser in a few hours, so we quickly enjoyed breakfast, packed up, and hit the trail.
Amazingly, the clouds cleared up yesterday, like an hour before we got there. They were clear the entire time, including this morning. And then this is what it turned into within the hour we've left our campsite. I mean, we are literally in a cloud. And just like that, it started snowing. It is very wet.
It's been all over the place here.
Yeah, very cold.
Tombstone is still beautiful and very much worth it.
Yeah. Sleet, snow, sun, lots of rain.
Lots of beauty.
We experienced it all, but it was so worth it. This hike is like instantly maybe in my top 3, maybe even higher, and the perfectly timed fall colors just really pushed it over the top.
Yeah, it was unbelievably beautiful. For me, favorite hike maybe ever too. If you come here, go to Grizzly Lake.
Well, I don't know about you, but I really want to take these bags off. We're going to head back to the trailer, get some beer, some burgers, some hot showers, fries, maybe some sleep because we've got an early start tomorrow. We're going to hit the road, I guess I should say the gravel, bright and early.
We're going to try to make it past the Arctic Circle, but we're just going to see where we get.
Well, not a super great start. We made it, like 30 feet. There's the sign. And I forgot my coffee cup in the trailer, and the entire thing exploded open on the inside of the trailer.
All of our white cushions.
Don't get white cushions for trailers.
Really terrible, terrible, terrible idea.
Yeah. Anyway, we cleaned it up as best we could. We're limited on water and paper towels, so I think our trailer's just gonna...
It's gonna be a problem for future Justin and Jessica to worry about.
Those people always get the short end of the stick, don't they? Okay.
Take 2.
Take 2. So we met this guy in Dawson City who said whenever we see a cone like this one, to take it really slow. So far we're like 130 miles in out of 570, and the road's been pretty good. Hands down, one of the things other people warned us about the most on the Dempster Highway was getting cracked windshield or windows from semi-trucks speeding by and kicking up gravel. However, that wasn't our experience at all with the truck drivers here. We may have just gotten lucky, or maybe it was the right time of the year, but all of the ones that we passed drove really slowly and were super considerate. Obviously though, it only takes one truck driver not paying attention and driving too fast, so we'd recommend pulling over to the side of the road and waiting for any semi to pass. I don't know if you can see it, but there's this massive pile of gravel. There's this construction truck in front of us, and we were wondering what they were doing, and I think he's smoothing the pavement. So the bottom of our car started like scraping this gravel, and I swerved to the left, and I think that was a mistake. So now I'm gonna have to drive back over it. It looks a little bit thinner here, but there's also more rocks, and they're like sharp rocks.
Yeah, this is not what you want to be going over. This is the stuff that causes flat tires. Maybe we...
Okay, here we go. There we go. Okay. All right. It's gotten so much worse. I'm really glad our trailer has the tires it does.
The 25 miles before Eagle Plains got pretty rough, but thankfully we made it to our first gas station on the Dempster Highway without issue.
Hey! Eagle Plains! And it's snowing! Wow. So I'm guessing the 15 gallons we're gonna need to buy is gonna be about 150 bucks.
We're averaging 27 miles per hour and we're getting about 19 gallons per mile. So we'll see if that continues. We've heard that the highway actually gets worse after Eagle Plains, so I'm guessing that our average mile per hour is going to go down and theoretically our gas mileage will go up, but I guess we'll see. And given how expensive gas is, I would love to see it.
Wow, this is just totally mud. Oh my god, how does mud get up here?
Oh dear.
Yeah. Oh, some gas just shot out of here.
Which is great since it's $10 a gallon. We wound up using $122 Canadian, which is
About 100.
yeah, give or take 100 USD.
We're catching all of the fall colors like at their very peak, and
It's insane. I mean, we keep trying to listen to podcasts and I'm like pausing every 20 seconds because I can't focus because it looks like a freaking rainbow exploded on the hills out here.
It's literally some of the most like intense fall colors we have ever seen. We just saw our very first motorcycles, 4 of them passed us of the Dempster Highway. I really can't imagine taking a motorcycle on this road.
No, our car is absolutely covered in mud. Cannot imagine what it would look like at the end of the day. We're about 200 miles in and the road just got really rough. It kind of turned into like this super dense rock. The fastest I can drive is 15 to 20 miles an hour. I thought we were making really good time. This might be a really long day of driving.
Welcome to the Arctic Circle!
Whoa! Years in the planning.
So you might be wondering what the Arctic Circle is. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure, but I do know that it's at 66 1/3 latitude, and at this point, starting from June 21st all the way through the next 6 weeks, the sun does not set below the horizon.
That's right. You can physically see the fireball in the sky 24 hours a day, which I think would drive me a little bit crazy.
Yeah. Passed a car full of people who got a flat and then put a spare on, and
I think what was happening is their spare held air but was leaking slowly, so they're pulling over every few miles to fill it up. They said they didn't need anything.
So we have Starlink, and we can obviously give them as much internet as they need to call people if they needed help. But like, we only have 1 windshield repair kit, 1 tire repair kit. So moving forward, I think that if we were to do this again, I probably would bring multiple tire repair kits in the event that like somebody else needed them. And I mean, again, they didn't ask for help, but if they did ask for a tire repair kit, I don't know what we would have done. It's definitely a wake-up call that like, so far it's been okay driving, but like, I mean, they got a flat, they were outside in the snow, in the cold, trying to pump up their spare tire to make it back to Eagle Plains. So like, we are super remote. We're on a very not good road. I don't think I really appreciated how stressful driving on the Dempster Highway is. To be honest, like nothing big, knock on wood, terrible has happened so far, but it's just like you constantly have to be, I'm not even driving, like praise Justin, because like, man, he's been doing such a good job and has been driving very slow and carefully and cautiously, and like I feel pretty frazzled and I'm not even driving. We just passed the sign for the campground that we're staying at tonight, so we're excited to cook up a big pot of chili and snuggle up.
It's day 6, and that brown box is our trailer.
We plan to drive around 180 miles all the way up to Inuvik, which is the largest city along the Dempster Highway. It's supposed to have 3,000 people. It's the largest city in
the Northwest Territories, which we will also be crossing into today. But it's supposed to be cold. I think the road's supposed to get worse. So
yeah, it's going to get down to 25 degrees at the border, where it's the highest elevation between the Yukon and the Northwest Territories. So we can't sit there for too long, or our trailer might freeze and break. So
we're gonna have to kind of be booking it through it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
This is the first, so we saw one flat tire so far, and then...
Wow. That's a very scary start to our day.
Yeah.
Oh no.
That person had to be so scared.
How did that even happen? Oh, show the top of that.
I really hope those people are okay.
Yeah, me too.
Ugh. Okay, drive slow.
Yeah.
Slow and steady.
Kidding. Wow, that was like, we've literally gone a half a mile since our campground. We just turned around that corner, and geez, that's sobering.
Well, Justin asked, what's our goal for today? Our goal is no flat tires and know that. Seeing that trailer was specifically pretty scary because we really haven't seen any other trailers up here. We've seen one, and it's been a teeny tiny one. We have a off-roading trailer, so this is probably just a PSA that I generally would not recommend this for most trailers unless you have a very small one, are very, very skilled at driving on gravel, unpaved roads, or have like a hardcore off-roading trailer the way that we do.
Guys, we just made it to the... Oh my God, it is totally ice here. Look at this view.
Just like 415 kilometers till the Arctic Ocean.
This is so pretty. Be careful. This winter wonderland at the border of the Yukon and the Northwest Territories is probably one of the most beautiful places I have ever been to in my life. The white dusting of snow on the mountains just makes it so much more extraordinary, especially because the bottom of the mountains all have their red foliage. It's just like, I mean, it's like being on a different planet. It's currently 29 degrees, and over the course of the next hour or so of driving, we're gonna drop about 3,000 feet in elevation. We should be around sea level for the remainder of our drive to the Arctic Ocean. This is exciting. I feel a lot less crazy. This person is actually towing a trailer. And it's bigger than ours, a double axle trailer. Oh. Wow, I don't know why that makes me feel better. I've been feeling a little insane for towing on this road because we're like the only trailer.
Now that we've dropped a bunch in elevation, the landscape looks totally different here in the Northwest Territories, and that's because the land that we were previously driving through, the Yukon, was unglaciated, but where we're driving through right now was actually flattened via the Laurentide ice sheets, which was hundreds of meters thick. And so now all you see are these kind of like small rolling hills instead of the kind of like craggy mountains that were in the Yukon. Still very gorgeous, but it's just kind of crazy how quickly the scenery has changed. This is the Peele River crossing. This ferry crossing is pretty unique. Unlike Dawson City, which was just like a motor boat, this is actually pulled across with a cable. It runs from 9 a.m. to 12:30 a.m. Basically from whenever the ice breaks up in the spring all the way through mid-October. We are getting on now. Do you see the cable?
Yeah.
I don't see the cables.
Oh, I think it's under the water. Oh. Yeah, I think it just like kind of drapes under the water.
Interesting.
Yeah, like right on the other side where it goes under the water.
And just like that, we are getting off the ferry. It only took about like 5 minutes to get across.
Yeah, very much faster than the one at Dawson City.
And we just have about 7 more miles to go until our next gas station in Fort McPherson.
Woo! Well, I was excited because the gas was $2.25 a liter, but they're closed. Fortunately, some dude walked out and was like, oh, there's gas at some other place on the north side of town. Thank God, because, well, hey, we filled up those tanks and we would have just enough to get to the next gas station. So I'm really glad we did that.
I hope there is another gas station. It's 115 more miles to Inuvik if hypothetically we don't have gas here.
And I think we've got like 8 gallons in the tank, another 5 on the roof. So I think we should conservatively be able to go 195 miles if they don't have gas here. I'd rather not risk it, but yeah, we'll go there and find out.
Southern is closed because it's Labor Day.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Is that today?
Yeah.
Well, thank God we have those 2 cans on the back, or we would be hanging out here. I really didn't think we'd be touching those cans for the rest of this trip. Man, I'm so glad we have extra gas. I mean, worst case, we would have just stayed here, but I'm so glad we have extra gas. We will see you at the next gas station. Hopefully, it is not closed. So the gas situation left us feeling a little uneasy, but we crossed our fingers and left Fort McPherson for our 3rd and final ferry crossing along the Dempster Highway.
So we are currently on the Mackenzie River ferry, which connects the Fort McPherson side of the Mackenzie River with the Inuvik side of the Mackenzie River. It also meets with the confluence of the Red Arctic River, which is somehow a Canadian historical landmark. It was pretty quick. We haven't had to wait for anything. I know that the ferry crossings are sometimes one of the things that people get kind of like hung up with on the Dempster Highway, that sometimes the ferries go down if there is too much water, for example, or ice, but fingers crossed, so far we haven't had any issues, and it's been pretty seamless.
Welcome to Inuvik, the second to last stop on the Dempster Highway.
Given the fact that it's one of the largest towns here, we plan on exploring a little bit, but mostly stocking up on groceries. We've had a pretty long day. The Dempster Highway is actually pretty tiring, so I think we're going to head back to our campsite, make some dinner, and then rest up because we're hoping we can see some northern lights tonight.
And it's $2.30 a liter. That's not bad. Wow, that first place really charges a lot.
Our average speed was 32 miles per hour, which as compared to the rest of the Dempster Highway, we're absolutely flying. We also got 18.1 miles per gallon, which isn't so bad. So we're going to explore a little bit here. So let's go check out Inuvik.
We are in the grocery store slash clothing store slash hardware store slash KFC slash Pizza Hut. Sunflower oil is 25 bucks. These are Canadian, so it's like 25% more than a US dollar. Normal bag of flour, $7. Oreos, $8.39 for a half.
We are standing at probably the most famous building in all of Inuvik, which is Our Lady of Victory, which you might notice looks like an igloo. The church offers stained glass windows that depict the Station of the Cross that was created by one of the most famous Inuvialuit artists, Mona Thrasher. The structure was completed in 1958 and is a really cool intersection of general Catholic architecture with Inuvialuit culture. There's a few neat things to do in Inuvik, like eating at a popular restaurant, Ailstein's, but to be honest, the activities are kind of limited. For example, the visitor center posted a list of attractions include playing Pokemon Go and washing off your car. Still, it was really cool to see and experience a town of this size in such a remote place. Tonight we're staying in Jak Territorial Park in Inuvik. It costs $35 Canadian for electrical hookups, which isn't too bad if you ask me. It's pretty close to Inuvik, but it has an even cooler feature. This observation tower. Jak Territorial Park is home to this observation tower, which provides you stunning views over the Mackenzie River Delta, which is actually the largest river delta in all of Canada and the 10th largest on the entire planet. The landscape has changed so much along the Dempster Highway, where we had these giant mountains and now it's basically just kind of a rolling hills of this beautiful river delta, and I love having this perspective of this beautiful, unique landscape. After enjoying the sunset, we went to bed pretty early because we had something exciting
plan for the middle of the night.
The last couple nights we've been setting an alarm around 2:30 or 3 a.m. to see the northern lights, but it's always been cloudy. Tonight it's looking clear, and we think we see the northern lights. We see some like kind of wispy, maybe colorful looking things.
Wow, that's so gorgeous. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. Dude, how cool was that?
I am freaking out. It's interesting because I think we saw them kind of like on a weaker day, but that being said, I still feel so great. I mean, you can easily see them with your eyes.
I think what's so ironic for us is they are due south of us. Man, it was just so beautiful. It's
across the entire sky.
Yeah, it's super wide.
And like sometimes it just kind of looks like wispy clouds, but sometimes it's vibrant.
I feel so lucky.
Yeah, me too.
We're almost to the Dempster Highway, and I'm gonna dump my sewage, but they're totally encrusted with mud. I would spray them off, but our outdoor shower lock is totally filled with mud. So I'm gonna go inside the trailer and fish the bathroom shower hose out of the window. Oh my God, everything's covered in mud. No big deal, just watering the side of my trailer with hot water. In case our trailer couldn't have looked any more terrible, now I just have one random clean is generous. Will we work? Hey! Oh. Nice. Let's see if this can reach. No. You wanna blast me? Yeah, turn that guy. Oh, hey! That's some good pressure, dude. That'll help, I think. Oh, hey, okay, cool. I am literally typing in end of the road. That's what it's called. It's right along the Arctic Ocean. And I think there's a campground there, maybe?
Yes.
So we are literally going to be camping on the furthest north point you can drive in all of North America. It looks like we are 95 miles away. It says 2.5 hours. Not gonna be 2.5 hours. Well, so far the road from Inuvik to Tuktoyaktuk has been good, but there's been some kind of rough sections. You just have to go like super slow. Also, this portion of the highway has been relatively flat. Oh, like, look at this. Wow, it's totally washed out on one side. Whoa. Okay. I got 2 Teslas right behind me, so we're gonna let them pass. Man, that's so cool. Hopefully we see them up there. I cannot wait to hear about how that's been going. Tesla 1 and Tesla 2. That's so cool. I wonder if they're the first people to take Cybertrucks up here. That cannot be easy. If you're watching this, it means Jess is also watching this for the very first time. We are about 50 miles outside of the Arctic Ocean. Jess has been wanting to jump in the Arctic Ocean for literally years. I've been telling her I don't want to do it, so I pretended like I had to go to the bathroom. I just put a bathing suit on under my pants. When she turns around to go get in the Arctic Ocean, I'm gonna try to like rip my pants off and follow her in there. Well, that sounds kind of weird. So if you're watching this, it means it actually happened, and I'm gonna have to like sneak it into the video. Hi. She has no idea.
And we made it to Tuktoyaktuk! Woo! Look at that!
We made it to the top of North America, right behind the Arctic Ocean.
Wow! What an epic journey this has been. But we've still got a little bit further to go before we are at the end of the road. We've got exactly 3 miles left till we reach what's called the end of the road. We have been on this journey for 8 months and 3 days and something over...
It's like 12,108 miles, I think, to be exact.
And I just wanted to take a second to say such a huge thank you to you. My wife is so incredible, and I'm getting emotional just saying this. You plan some of the coolest journeys, and you take me to places that I don't think I'd ever go without you having planned them for us, and you just make my life so bright and vibrant and full of adventures, and like this has been the experience of a lifetime. Driving up here from Florida, and we have made so many memories together, and I'm just so incredibly grateful for you. And
Grateful for you. You're the best adventure buddy ever, and I can't wait to see where our next adventure will take us.
more on that later, but I love you, and I'm very grateful for you.
I love you too. There's no one else I'd rather be at the top of North America with.
It is so crazy to think that this car and this trailer started in Key West on January 1st.
At the like literal southernmost point monument, and now we're here.
Okay, we are about to turn onto the very last road in North America.
This feels very, very surreal that this is happening.
Wow, this place is cute.
Continue on Beaufort Road for 1 mile.
This is the last mile. I don't know why I'm so excited. I see it! Arctic Ocean! Woo, 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 woo! We did it! Yeah! The end of the road, guys. The end of the road.
Welcome to the Arctic Ocean. We are at the end of the road.
We celebrated with some champagne by the Arctic Ocean and headed to the visitor center to pay for our campground, which cost 31 loonies per night. We had planned to do some more exploring in Tuktoyaktuk that day, but Mother Nature had some other plans. It is intense, and
We're honestly just planning on staying for one night, but the weather isn't exactly cooperating.
It is day 8 on our journey along the Dempster Highway. To be honest, we only plan on being here for one day, but the weather yesterday was pretty gross, and there's a couple things here that we really wanted to do, starting with the Pingo National Landmark. Pingos, which you can see right behind me, are a unique type of landform that's found in the Arctic and subarctic. And Tuktoyaktuk is actually home to the most pingos of any place else on the planet. There's about 13,000 spread across the entire world, but you can find over 1,300 of them here, so over 10%. Pingos are essentially ice core hills. Think about when water freezes in a bottle, all the ice kind of pushes up to the top. That's exactly what's happening here. We're actually going to be kayaking there. We're a little bit nervous about kayaking in the Arctic Ocean, but we have life vests, an extra set of clothes, towels, and our nice toasty car and trailer in case we accidentally fall in and something terrible happens. So wish us luck. And if you can't tell, the weather is so much nicer today than it was yesterday. So we're so thankful and ready to get out paddling in the Arctic Ocean.
so there's a couple different paddling options you can take while you're here. We're going to be taking the shortest, which is the Boardwalk paddle loop. It's about 4.1 kilometers and should take about an hour round trip, although our inflatable banana boat is pretty slow, so it might take us just a little bit longer. Whew. This water is so cold.
It's pretty insane to think that we're kayaking in the Arctic Ocean right now.
I cannot believe how smooth the water is after 24 hours of like hurricane level winds. Wow, it is so beautiful here. There's like a hole in the back of the boat for water to drain out. But normally I don't see this much water coming in, and it's kind of scaring me a little bit.
You want to turn around?
I don't like the fact that there's water in the boat right now. I think it's normal. I think there's like a hole. Oh, I think it's normal. I don't know, I'm extra scared right now. All right, so we haven't made it halfway. We're gonna stop. We got a lot of water coming in, which is probably something we don't want to mess with. Actually, whoa, I just realized we might get stuck here. Oh, that's freezing. Yeah, oh wow. Yeah, it's definitely not holding air. Crap. I'm so glad I brought the air pump. Wow, I normally never bring it. Well, this wet butt wasn't supposed to happen. The bottom of the kayak is like pretty loose, and this has never happened before. Yeah, see how much it took, see how like, normally it's like rigid. This is why you always kayak with life jackets, especially if you're gonna go in the Arctic Ocean. And also, we've never done this before, but we brought towels and dry clothes in our dry bag. So just in case everything goes in the water, at least we'll have dry stuff to like dry off and warm up in. This constricted a little bit, but that's normal whenever you kayak in cold water. We just went kayaking in like in front of a glacier
lake
like a couple weeks ago, and there was no issues and it didn't deflate. But this is a problem. Like that deflated too much. So
but we also don't hear a leak or anything, so it's not really clear what's going on.
Yeah, so we're gonna try filling up our kayak while we're stranded here on this beach in the middle of nowhere in the Arctic Ocean. And if it doesn't hold air, I think we're just gonna try to paddle as fast as we can back to the car, because I definitely do not feel like drowning in the Arctic Ocean. So I just went to fill up this chamber, and turns out it's not plugged. So that could be why it was slowly losing air. I'm so glad we had this pump with us, or we would be screwed.
Yeah.
Okay, that feels nice and rigid.
Probably not the best place to have an unplugged inflatable kayak.
No. All right, everything's plugged. I think we should try this again.
Okay.
Okay, you want to hand me the paddles? Wow, it is so cold. It's like my feet can stay in there for like a few seconds. Okay, I'll lean to the right and you get in. Not as easy as the dock, is it? Oh my God,
I'm very grateful for this little beach.
Okay.
Right, kayaking in the Arctic Ocean, take 2.
Okay, so far, bottom of the kayak dry. We will check in with you in a couple minutes. Well, it's been 5 minutes since refilling, and we are still doing good. I see a little bit of water, but I think it's just residual from last time. Jessica just lost her fuzzball from her hat.
Justin is paddling vigorously.
Hold this. Hold this. No man left behind.
Come here, fuzzball.
Get it. Wow, what a dramatic Arctic Ocean kayaking expedition. We almost drowned. We almost left a man behind.
Lost a fuzzball.
Jeez. Woo. 10-minute check-in. Still got a dry boat. I'm so excited about that. And I think we see the boardwalk right up there in the distance. Hey, we made it. It is currently sunny, windless, beautiful outside.
I'm so thankful for today. We met people in Dawson City that were also doing the Dempster Highway, and we said that we were planning to basically drive it in 7 or 8 days. They were kind of incredulous and thought that was a really long time. I think by the time that we actually finish the Dempster Highway, it's going to be more like 12 days. If you plan on doing the Dempster Highway, I'd highly recommend building in some time to explore, stop, stay a day or two if the weather doesn't cooperate. Again, I'm just so glad that we get this experience here today. And if we didn't have the flexibility to stay an extra day, we wouldn't get to see these Pingos. We wouldn't get to have the adventure we're going to have later today. I'm just thankful for building in a little bit extra time.
Jess, look at this. That is ice under there. How unique is, I would never know. I would never know.
So behind us is the Ibyuk Pingo, which is actually the tallest Pingo in Canada and the second tallest Pingo on the entire planet. I think it's around 229 feet tall. Pingos can range from just being the size of a small car all the way up to an enormous stadium. I honestly think that's pretty big and we're still pretty far away from it. But wow, what a unique feature.
I cannot believe that right there is the size of a sports stadium. That is crazy. And it's all ice pushing up a big mound of earth. So we checked out the town. We got to see our Pingos. I think that means there's only one thing left to do.
Jumping in the Arctic Ocean!
Well, you're jumping in the Arctic Ocean.
Yeah, Justin's dipping his toe in, which I don't know if you could hear the squish of my boots, but we both officially have dipped our toes into the Arctic Ocean already. Something popular to do in Tuktoyaktuk once you reach the Arctic Ocean is to dip your toe in the water, but some people take it a little bit farther and actually...
Like you?
Dunk their whole bodies in, so that's what I'm about to do.
Wait, I really don't think you should.
Why?
Well, not without me!
Okay.
Oh yeah, thank you so much for following us from the Key West, Florida, the southernmost point in the continental United States, all the way to here, Tuktoyaktuk, the farthest north you can drive in North America.
So where we're going next, we need to jump into more freezing cold water, so we're going to be making our way through Central America and South America, including Guatemala, Mexico, Colombia,
With a big finale in
Antarctica!
Thank you again for following us. Don't forget to subscribe. In fact, if you subscribe, I'll jump in again. You don't believe me? I'll do it right now. I'm trusting you. Thank you. Bye.